Are you feeling invisible in a crowded market? Well, your brand might be the reason. Building a brand isn't just about having a pretty logo or a great website. It's all about creating an identity that's going to resonate, build trust, and stay consistent across every platform. Without a clear and cohesive brand style, even the most incredible businesses can blend into the background. But don't worry, I'm about to show you exactly how to create a brand style guide that will make your business unforgettable. But what exactly is a brand style guide? Think of your brand style guide as your business's DNA. It's a comprehensive blueprint that's going to capture the components of your visual identity, your unique brand vibe, and the essence of your brand's personality. It can be as simple as a one-page overview or as detailed as a multi-page document covering every branding aspect. The key is to make sure that it clearly defines how your brand should appear and communicate so that every touch point reflects your identity without any confusion. You can also grab our free brand style guide template in the description below to follow along. But why is it so critical to your business? Well, let's be honest, as a solo entrepreneur, you're wearing a million hats, and your brand style guide is just gonna make your life easier. It's gonna save you decision-making time. It's gonna make content creation easier. So whether you're planning a photo shoot, launching a website, or designing a social media post, your brand style guide keeps everything aligned. It's going to build trust with your ideal clients because when your brand looks and sounds the same across platforms, it becomes more recognizable and in turn more reliable. And lastly, it's going to make outsourcing and team collaboration a breeze. So if you ever hire a virtual assistant or a designer, you can hand over your guide and they'll instantly understand your brand's look and feel. So now for your style guide must-haves, I'm going to illustrate these points by showing you how I would create a guide for a fictitious brand so you can see it in real time. So let's say that my brand is called Blush and Bloom and it's a wedding and event planning business that has a feminine aesthetic. So your first must-have is your logo. It's going to be the face of your brand, so it should be versatile and easily recognizable. And you want to include a primary, secondary, and icon variation to ensure consistency across all your different platforms, depending on the type of content you're creating. For my logo, I went with a simple typography-based logo that was simple yet felt sophisticated and timeless. I chose a font that had a bit of feminine flourish to be the main highlight of the logo and then also incorporated an ampersand in a different script font for added interest. I find a great way to create unique logos is just by mixing letters from complementary fonts. For the primary, this is the main logo that would include all of the elements in your logo. So whether that's any illustrations that you have, the full name of your company, when you establish your company, and as well as any slogan or phrase to describe what your business is all about. You also want to have a white and black version. That way, when you're designing content in the future, you have both versions that can be used depending on whether or not the design's background is a dark or light background. The secondary logo is similar to your primary logo, but usually a simplified version that is the same in essence, still featuring your full business name, but perhaps without the slogan and phrasing underneath, and will probably be the logo that you use the most. And then finally, your icon logo typically features little to no words. It's more of a symbol that would represent your brand and would be used for things like watermarks or brand packaging. Next up are your graphic elements. So think about illustrations, icons, patterns, or textures that give your brand a unique visual touch. These elements are going to help you set your brand apart from your competitors and reinforce your identity. For Blush and Bloom, I knew I would always want a personal and romantic feel for my brand, so I chose these textured papered elements and these hand-drawn floral illustrations from Hotstock's graphics packs that are available in the library. Next up, we have our fonts. Typography plays a huge role when it comes to your branding. So you want to choose 2 to 3 main fonts, a header font that's going to be bold and eye-catching that will get you recognized, a body font that's easy to read in small sizes, and then an optional accent font for added personality. For my brand, I wanted to pick fonts that balance professionalism with a feminine touch. For my header font, I knew that I wanted it to be a serif font because they automatically feel more sophisticated and elegant. You could choose the main font you use for your logo, but because Tan Pearl tends to be super flourished, I wanted to pick something that will always be easy to read and professional, so I'm going with the Seasons. For my body font, I'm picking the sans serif font Tovlo that is clean and simple with no flourish so that it's easy to read in large bodies of copy at small sizes. And then finally, for my accent font, because I'm a feminine romantic brand, I'm going to pick, of course, a cursive font. I'm going to go with New Icon Script. So the next part of your brand style guide is your tagline, mission, and keywords. So remember to always think about your ideal audience when coming up with your brand's personality. You want to think about what would resonate with them, what do they value, and what type of language would they use. And then keep that in the back of your head when you're creating these next items. So your tagline is a short, memorable phrase that sums up your brand, much like a catchy slogan. Your mission is the reason behind why you started your business in the first place. How are you helping other people? What are your values and your goals? And then your keywords capture your brand's vibe. So if your brand was a person, what kind of words would you use to describe them? For my brand, I chose the tagline where elegance meets ever after. For my mission statement, I put, we believe in the art of romance and storytelling through event design. Our mission is to create moments that will last forever for our clients through refined, heartfelt celebrations that blend sophistication with warm personal touches. And then lastly, my keywords will be feminine, timeless, ethereal, elegant, and sophisticated. Next up is our color palette. So color is one of the most powerful ways that you can create brand recognition. It's one of those things that just really stick in people's mind if it's done right. So choose 3 to 5 brand colors that reflect your brand's energy and mood. And keep in mind that colors evoke emotions and you want these emotions to be in line with the story your brand is telling. You also always want to include a neutral color to balance your palette and then use these colors consistently in all of your branding materials. For my brand's color palette, I know I want it to be muted and feel ethereal and dreamy, but still sophisticated, so I'm staying away from anything that's gonna feel too bold or energetic. I love to get inspo for my color palettes from images that I'm drawn to that feel like what I want my brand vibe to be. So I've downloaded a few images from the Hot Stock library, and then from here I use the eyedropper tool to pull colors directly from my inspo photos. Then I'll play around with the palette and the shades of colors till it feels like a cohesive palette for my brand. And then lastly, we have your brand's visuals. So your brand's imagery is going to tell a story and you want that story to be in line with your brand's personality and messaging. So to do that, you need to define your photo style. So think about how you would describe your brand. Is it light and airy, moody and dramatic, or maybe more earthy and natural? And then you can choose images that are shot in this photo style consistently to give your brand a recognizable feeling when people see your content. You also want to think beyond traditional brand photos, so not just workspace photos or whatever industry you're in, but also incorporating lifestyle shots, textures, locations, or images that are consistent with your brand's value, just making sure that they all incorporate your colors into the images or feature a neutral color palette. And if you really want to use images that aren't already shot in your brand's photo style, then just make sure that you're applying consistent editing or filters to make sure you're still maintaining that cohesive look. I would define Blush and Bloom's photo style as feminine, soft, and airy. And now that I know my brand's personality and my color palette, I can go into the Hot Stock library and start searching for images. I would start by looking in my industry category, so celebrations, and then from here I can narrow down my search by my brand colors, or I can search by one of my keywords within that category. I'm making sure that all the images I choose are in my brand photo style and my brand colors. So for example, although pictures of florals make sense for my business, I would choose these florals over these ones because these feel more romantic and muted while the other ones feel more vibrant. I'll also look for images outside of my industry, maybe some general textures or ribbons. I might look for some beauty or fashion centered images. And when I find an image that I like, I'll look at the entire collection that this image is from and then usually download it all. That way, I have a set of curated images that will all be in the same style, and I don't have to spend a huge amount of time curating a collection for myself. Then I can upload the collection in Canva in its own folders so that it's easy to access when I'm designing my content. So I don't need to worry about the layout of the document because I downloaded the brand style guide templates from Hotstock. Although you can customize the document to feature your brand fonts and colors, but really you just need to focus on popping in all the items that you've planned out for your brand. So I'll add my brand colors and my 3 different fonts, and then I'll add my keywords. Then from the collections I downloaded from the library, I'll create a mood board of images that sums up what my brand vibe is visually. And the Hotstock template even has places where you can plan your profile pic and your story highlights for Instagram. So I'll go ahead and do that. The next page will feature spots for you to put in designs for Instagram. That way, even your social media will have a blueprint guide to refer back to. I went ahead and simply customized some templates from Hotstock using my brand imagery, fonts, and copy, which was super quick and easy. And then on the next page, you can plan out a 12 grid of Instagram posts by mixing in some of the brand imagery that you downloaded with the templates that you created. Want to get your hands on the brand style guide templates used in this video? Make sure to get your download in the description below. And if you want access to all the assets you need to build out your style guide and future brand content, then you'll love the Hotstock membership. Inside the exclusive members only library, you'll get access to thousands of curated stock images, professional stock videos, customizable Canva templates, and monthly marketing guides. Thanks for watching. If you want more visual branding tips, then watch our video, Build a Brand with Me from Scratch.